Well, welcome to my channel, Maureen M. Washington, Canadian Homesteader. I should have an addendum that says that I'm just an urban homesteader. The goal and the dream, of course, is to buy property and to do this on a larger scale. So where do I begin with this story? It's a tough one. Basically, when the pandemic hit, everything changed. I am a Canadian international jazz and blues singer.
So now it's time that we must come clean. 'Cause somewhere there's a love supreme, but it ain't you. No! So give it up.
And of course, that had to go by the wayside. In that time, a friend of mine, she got chickens. Just as it first started, and they were so cute, and I thought I'd love chickens. Oh, but I have no place to put them in my yard, and she talked to her husband, and he said, no, we can help her build a coop, and we can get some chickens. So I jumped off, had no coop built, but got some baby chicks and raised them up and fell in love with them. They are more like pets, backyard chickens. As they grew, then my friend and I and my daughter, we thought, let's take this on. There are other great women builders out there, so I ordered some plans. My friend's husband, he kind of adjusted them, and we built a beautiful coop for our chickens. You know, I had a few plant pots on my patio of just, tomatoes and things like that, and I just kind of got the bug of loving gardening. I hated gardening as a younger mom. I thought about the dirt. I like to look at gardens, to eat what comes from them, but the idea of crawling through and under things and my hair getting spiders in it, it just freaked me out. But that just all went by the wayside, and I fell in love with being out here, getting all the vitamin D that I can, and digging and growing. And so we started to turn more of our yard into garden beds. My daughter and I started building raised garden beds. So with that, I went and bought a chop saw, and we started building benches and things like that. Everything just kind of fell into place, and every new challenge that came along, I had no idea how to do it, but I just thought, let's give it a shot. We got into the fall, and I started to learn how to can and pressure canning. And so we canned up a storm of some of the veggies and things that we were growing, turned more of the yard into gardens, and continued to build, and then started to learn how to make sourdough bread, just like many other people were. Just kind of has gotten into this homesteading life. When my children were young, I homeschooled them, and I always wanted to have a homestead, but I thought I only wanted the romantic view of me wearing a gingham apron, singing wah, wah, through the gardens while I had the hired hands doing all the work. So I just thought, yeah, that's not for you, Maureen. But here in my later life, I have fallen in love with all of it, and recently we just started learning how to make cheese, and that has been a wonderful adventure. And just knowing what we're putting into when we can, we know what the ingredients are. There's no extra additives, it's just pure food. Same with the cheese, it's just pure milk. And so it's been a super exciting adventure to fall in love with homesteading and ease my way into it, as I said, from my urban farm, doing it on a small scale, and then eventually buying property. The dream for me is I just would love to leave a legacy for my children of understanding how we used to live, utilizing our own land, growing our own food, eating things that are not covered in pesticides and things like that, and using natural fertilizers. And so the dream is to leave a legacy for my children and my grandchildren. So I hope you'll come along for this journey. Hopefully it'll inspire you. Hopefully it'll encourage you, or maybe it'll just make you laugh, because all the little blunders and things that we do, it's like, give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, we roll up our sleeves and we try to figure out how to do it again. So I hope you'll subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, and that you'll join me on my journey.